Kyle, you can sum it up.
I just pressed the button. So I was just telling the guys that what the fuck? Ice Poseidon
Yeah.
hadn't replied to me because it didn't get to me. Usually, dude, if a guy in front of like 12 people says something, one of those 12 gets back to you, and he said, she said, but somehow this didn't. What did he say, Kyle?
He just kind of made fun of you for changing it to mixed martial arts, I guess.
Oh, well, I don't accept that. He wants more protective rules. He's the pussy. I will open it up to all the rules. Fucking, we can put eye gouging and biting in there and groin strikes. We both get them.
I was also challenged. I told the guy, hey, what, a fight? No. I'll be on a hilltop in a ghillie suit. You come at me from 500 meters if you're a real man. I'll have my rifle.
Who was challenging you to a fight?
That's the opposite. Yeah. Yeah, no, Kyle is saying that I guess somehow he's making a gunfight out of it. But that's silliness. No. The reason that he doesn't want to do like a no-holds-barred type fight is that he would lose. And he's like, oh, I don't want you getting close to me.
I can understand him not wanting to do it, though. Because if he's like, yeah, I challenge you to a boxing match. And then you go, no, I challenge you to a different sporting match in which I've been practicing for about as long as you've been cogent.
It was fight. Right?
He's I think it was boxing, because he was even like shadow boxing, like showing his like pretend training.
Yeah, everybody's been boxing. I literally saw 2 call-outs, and neither of them had shadow boxing involved. So I must have seen different things.
He was shadow boxing that this video Kyle's talking about, where he was like doing his
the
little
newest one.
Yeah, where he was like, yeah, I'm not gonna fight Woody in what he wants to fight in, because he's been training in that for years and years and years, and of course I'm gonna get beat because I can't catch up to him even if I train 24/7 for 6 months.
He called
Whereas
me old
boxing,
and frail.
That's true.
and now he's punking out. Yeah, no, I did. All right,
but he's only punking. It's like
he said,
like someone like a Fury. I don't know. I'm trying to think of who would challenge me to a fight. No one, because I'm irrelevant. But if they did, it'd be like, oh no, yeah, I'll box you all right. We're doing it in full hockey regalia on the ice. No helmets. And they're like, I don't know how to skate. And I'm like, ha, sucks to suck. Pussy. You don't know how to skate? Oh, is someone worried you're going to crack your little skull on the ice? You worried I'm going to pull you over because you don't know how to balance? Then I'm going to go, whoop, now we're going back. Now we're going forward. Which direction are we going? As you're
just
slipping out from under you.
But I don't accept that as a criticism. Because that's not like... Because what he did is he challenged me to a fight, right? He didn't say boxing. He didn't say any. He just said, I would fight Woody, but he's old and frail, and it would be unfair, and he might hurt me or something. And I said, all right, let's do this. If he were to fight me at, like, I don't know, a grass field, a sidewalk, wherever a fight happens, RV, then this is how it would go down, right? I would try to get Mount or his back, and I would choke him out. That's what would happen. And now he's like, no. So I don't want to fight you so much. Not at any kind of fighting that you're good at. I want to strip away half of the rules, or I want to double the amount of rules, I should say, for my own protection, and I will fight you under these restrictive rules. Fuck it.
Well, I think in his head he was never thinking MMA. Like
boxing,
I think when he was saying fight
years ago, who gives a fuck about boxing?
Well, but I think it's because it's kind of like tagging on to the end of this Logan and whatever the hell Paul versus those 2 other guys, where it's like fight now just kind of means boxing in the YouTube sphere. Like as far as like these non-fighters challenging one another, like they're not challenging each other to MMA. So I think in his head, even if he didn't say boxing, which you're probably right, I don't recall him, specifically calling it out, but I think it's fair to say he definitely meant boxing.
Yeah, that's what everybody's doing. They're setting up these boxing matches, and I think he's been training, I guess, boxing for the last month or 2 or something like that.
Yeah,
I didn't know he's been training boxing. Still not very long.
I don't think I can name 5 active boxers, and the ones I can, it's because they've been in like the MMA sphere, talking about like they trained with Conor McGregor or something like that in his run up to Mayweather. I could name the third best guy in some weight class.
Pro boxing is getting less popular, like on the professional. Maybe not like less popular overall, I don't know, but probably less popular in comparison to MMA every year. Boxing is probably still bigger worldwide, just because there's like all those Asian countries and shit love it. But like,
do they?
I think the appeal to boxing in this is just the amateurism of it, of like you don't know what's going to happen, just people swinging haymakers at each other instead of like the Mayweather like hide behind your shoulder or whatever shit he does. I don't know. If I were you, I would. if he can make it worthwhile for you monetarily, you should definitely drop in a few boxing courses. See if he's still down to do it when you've got like another, 4 weeks, 5 weeks of honing under your belt. Because the way he's structured it now, he couldn't back out if you decided to go forward with the boxing, because he's already structured, I'd be more than happy to do it. I absolutely would do it. I said before I would do it. It's just I'm not playing by that rules. And so if you go, all right, I'm pretty confident I'm going to win this thing either way, let's do boxing, then he has to accept. Like, he's set it up.
He's three-quarters your size.
Yeah, but
same height, but you're much broader.
Because to be honest, when I accepted it, I thought he was a lot bigger than me. I thought he was like 6'4"-ish, and he looks fit to me. I keep searching for pictures of him, but when I see him,
just a skinny guy.
I remember we had a conversation. We talked together. I was like, just look Nick down with like a fresh face. He's pretty athletic looking, and everyone was like, I do see it. He is skinny. But he's like a fit skinny. Anyway, I thought I was accepting a fight with a much bigger guy. If the money's there, I'll give it a go for sure. Like, absolutely. But I'm not sure it is. I have a feeling this is just like everyday Ice Poseidon live stream content, where 1,500 rolls in if you're lucky. And I'm not all about like training for weeks and getting into a fight for $1,500. I'm fine.
Well, your cut would be $750. So
You're right. Assuming I have guaranteed accounting in this thing.
Why would he get a cut of Ice's stream though? He has to do his own stream.
Yeah, it's just and
I don't know how it works.
Yeah. So, and I think that is how it works. Is that right, Kyle? That's how it normally works.
They do a lot of weird stuff with breaking up money and costs and stuff like that.
I mean, if this was somehow like the prelim event to the KSI card where there was real money to be made, it'd be pretty exciting. But I don't think we're talking about that.
Maybe. I mean, I would watch either one of your streams if you guys did that. I'm biased, of course, because I know both of the participants personally, but I totally would. Just like I'd watch Kyle, even in an unfair fight. I would prefer to watch Kyle's fight where he's in a ghillie suit 500 yards away with a rifle of his choosing, and the field is very, very, very open. It's a very open field. There's a handful of tires scattered around, and that's it.
Okay.
And so
then I will come by with my precision-guided missile and take him out from beyond visible range, and there's our fight. Going to silly rules.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like this trend of YouTubers fighting each other. I hope that one stream, I guarantee I won't end up watching the stream itself, especially if you have to pay for it for the Paul brothers and whatever rappers they're fighting. But I'll watch those YouTube clips afterward.
Someone said it was free GIFs 2 days later.
I'm not sure.
Well, that's everything on the internet's free 2 days later.
Even 2 hours later.
I don't know if they're guessing that it'll be free 2 days yet later. If they've announced it'll be, sure, I seriously doubt they've announced it'll be free 2 days later. We'll see. Of course, the first KSI fight is on YouTube in its entirety, so that's probably a good guess.
Did you hear that the same time I did? Do you know where I forgot who said that? Was it our guest?
I just think it came out in just general discussion on the show. I think one of us just said it because it's likely.
Oh, I remember it. The way I remember it, I thought someone said it as if they knew. So.
Are you following Ice at all anymore, Kyle, or not really?
No, not really. If he does something interesting, it'll get linked to me. But I haven't seen him really do anything too crazy lately.
Is he still in the shit house with all his fans? Or is that oscillates back and forth?
That oscillates all the time. I'll watch whenever they do the fights, though. I watched the first boxing matches that they had, and those were fun. It's fun to see those guys just get in a backyard and just fight. I liked it a lot the first time. There's Ice fought the first time against I don't remember who he was boxing with. I can't recall, but they were entertaining. They were nut shots and people crawling on the ground and timeouts to catch a breather and stuff like that. It was fun.
Who was Ice? Why is there a porn star in Ice's world? I'm going to his site to see if the fans are angry or happy with him, and it's all about this one porn star.
I think that Tracksuit Andy is interested in a porn star in some way or another, and that's become like something for them to mock.
Aha.
I mean, it is pretty lame. Like when you see someone, tell me if I'm wrong. When you guys see someone dating a porn star who is not themselves a porn star, it's kind of pathetic, right? Like kind of really pathetic.
I don't know. It depends on the level of porn star, honestly. Because when Tito Ortiz was with Jenna Jameson, I was like, oh, good for Tito. That's a nice move he's making there. Good for
Tito is what you're thinking? Like not, wow, you're not even getting, sloppy seconds from someone. You're getting sloppy 10,000ths. Like,
well, I'm sure she's washing up before she comes home. Does she have any
capacity to even associate true affection with the act of sex anymore after having to, like, change your brain to see it as, like, a transactional business thing? Like, it just seems like it would be very difficult to want that. Like, why would you want that in a partner? Like someone who sells their body for a living? That it comes up to me as kind of pathetic. It's like, well, what kind of insecurities do you have that you feel like this person who's like, all right, I'm going to go to work, hon. Maybe if I'm not too tired from work, we can fuck later.
But Taylor, it doesn't sound like it's the porn star part you object to. It's the fact that she's had so many lovers and it's not a special occasion for her anymore.
Maybe, well, that and the porn thing. It's just the porn thing is kind of dirty. It's like not.
Would you be okay if it was lesbian porn?
That's not even real sex. So sure, but
we discovered it was sex. We talked about Clinton, but okay.
No, I don't know. Obviously, I haven't thought this through that much. Just making off the cuff comments. But every time I've seen that with like. Every time you need well thought out answers. There's something visceral. Like ever since I can remember, anytime, like even in my teens and shit, like seeing some celebrity going out with a porn star, I'm like, really? Like really? You had to settle for someone who has sex on camera for money, and then walk around and pretend like you're the really special guy in her life. Oh yeah, I'm the one who sticks around and makes them watch dumb shows with me after they come inside.
Taylor,
and it sounds like you're losing.
The fact that she does it for money, the fact that it's been on camera, or the fact that she's had so many partners?
The fact that, well, I think all three of those play into it.
Because the camera part bothers me a little bit. It's just like, oh, this is like a special thing that I'm supposed to have with her that becomes less special because it's out there on the internet.
I couldn't agree more. Like that act of what's supposed to be like intimacy within your relationship is now kind of, oh, so millions of people on Earth have seen her fuck, 1,000 different guys. Like it's just gross, Like let them do that if they like, and if guys are okay with it, more power to you. It's just, to me, it seems kind of lame.
Gross isn't the word I'd pick. It's lost its ability to be special.
It's intimacy.
Yeah. It's supposed to be kind of like a secret you guys have, And even if she's told this secret to 10 other guys, then it's still something of a secret. But when it's 100 guys and it's on video, it's not a secret.
Yeah, and I think to get into that industry in the first place, there's got to be something a little off. Like it's definitely different seeing like professional porn shit where they're doing every day someone different in some like rented Airbnb versus these YouPorn girls, like that girl who watches us, who just fucks her same boyfriend in different positions or whatever. I don't really have a problem with that. That's just them making money. I still would not like that because it's like, oh, her face is all over the internet, sucking dick. Like, but hey, if that doesn't bother you, it's definitely easier to get over than like the pro porn thing. Are you empathizing with any of this at all, Kyle? Like, are you understanding? Like,
yeah, of course.
You would not want your girlfriend to, and they've done like many studies, like finding that the more sexual partners you have, the harder it is for you to stay in a monogamous relationship long term. And so the chances of someone who has sex for money as a job, as an occupation for a handful of years, and then gets spit out the other end of that industry, most of the time, like that person, that's a lot of subtle and not so subtle emotional trauma, I think, that would make a relationship difficult.
Yeah, I was just going to make the point that there are, like when I saw Tito Ortiz with Jenna Jameson, I was like, oh, well, good for him. There's a incredibly wealthy and successful lady who's super sexy, and yeah, she fucked a lot of dudes on camera, but that, everybody's got flaws. But then there's this chick that we're talking about on the Poseidon subreddit, who's just like especially in the porn, she's like a 4 for as far as porn stars go, and she's like a 5 as far as like normal people go. Yeah, and it's just like, nah, you wouldn't want to get involved with that in any capacity whatsoever. Especially if you're in that little world that he's in, where like, they mock you endlessly on the internet and, linking the videos. And then of course, like they do the whole Ice Poseidon thing where they morph him into like a troll. They do that to her as well, of course.
I haven't seen, I'm brand new to this scene. She looks good in that picture I linked.
The really fuzzy one where you can see half her face from the side with a dick in her mouth. Like,
that's the one. Yes. Yeah. She looks fantastic in that one. You know what? I would argue that a lot of girls look good with the dick in their mouth. It's a good look.
Yeah. She's not so great looking when you're actually looking at her like face. But when you've got like a side view and
profile,
look how fuzzy that is. Look how it's like they put Vaseline on the lens, right? She's like a porn star 4 and like a real world 5. But yeah, that would be the real concern, right? And then the other thing is like, are you going to have some sort of public relationship with this porn star, or are you going to have a private relationship? Because a private relationship, who really gives a fuck? I don't care. I would be fine dating a porn star as long as we kept that between us and we're not like tweeting it at each other, like, hey honey, you get a good dick today, like. That's ridiculous.
I found another picture of her. She's reverse cowgirl kind of in it, and she looks okay there. Better than a 5 to me.
Yeah, I think she's pretty cute, but she's not like professional porn star looking, which can be better sometimes.
Yeah,
you don't want the
so
crazy,
when I saw Tito Ortiz date Jenna Jameson, I had a different outlook on it. Like even at the beginning of the relationship, it was like, I didn't feel like he got prime Jenna Jameson, right? Didn't she peak in like the 90s?
He got prime Jenna Jameson. He got Jenna Jameson after she stopped fucking dudes and she started being a multimillionaire running her own porn studio. That's prime Jenna Jameson.
But she was a drug addict too, right? Or that could be wrong.
Well, what kind of drugs, right?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. But if you're addicted, they're all kind of bad.
Nah.
Yeah. Yes.
And there's some people that are addicted to ice cream. Nobody shames them on a daily basis.
We do. Oh, why do I need to mention my friend Wings of Redemption every day?
Kyle, if anything, the lesson there is not therefore reduce shaming in other aspects of life. It's amp it up in the ice cream addiction sphere, right? Like there should be shame in all aspects. Shame is sometimes a useful thing. It tells you, hey, you're really violating social norms, and it makes people uncomfortable. And over time, it's going to alienate you and make you wish you hadn't. It shouldn't be like, a little bit of the back of my head tells me this is inappropriate, which is why I need validation from everyone around me. They can't tell me this is a bad thing. And it's like, yeah, you keep walking around in parades dressed as a fucking Pooh Bear with your dick out. Don't feel shame for that. Like, or whatever fucking furry thing we were talking about.
I would
she
give
took
her a
Xanax.
higher number.
That was her thing.
Oh, was it? I don't know. What's Xanax addiction like? You just get really sleepy?
She's just real chill.
You're really mellow, and then you go into being really depressed, and then you need more Xanax, and then like it's one of the most popular pills for people to get addicted to.
Well, she was snorting them, so she probably wasn't taking as many, right?
Oh, that's true, because snorting it lasts much shorter, which means she gets all of her fun out of the way and then goes back to being a responsible adult.
Yeah, I'm sure she just gets her job tasks done. No, I don't know, something like it. I felt like when he got Jenna Jameson at what, 45? 50?
No.
Oh, am I wrong?
I gotta check. I'm gonna guess 35.
She was 35 or he was 35?
She.
So
how'd that relationship end up?
She's currently 44. Now. So maybe 35 is a good guess, you think, Kyle? Was that like maybe 10 years ago they started?
I'm nailing that down.
Doing a little sleuthing.
I'm going to her Wikipedia, see if it mentions... I'm
going to go to a different site and look her up just to see.
What site could that be? So in 2006, she started dating Tito. So that was 12 years ago, which would have made her 32. So a little closer to prime than I had in my head. Although I would argue a 32 with a lot of miles and addicted to Xanax.
Yeah. Her at 32 is like, it's like a 4-year-old car that's used for Uber 24/7. Like, it may only be 4 years old, but it's got 130,000 miles on it, and you're going to have to replace the engine. Or just move on and make a smarter purchase. But I'm sure this relationship lasted years and was, like, probably pretty healthy, ended amicably, right? I know nothing about this relationship whatsoever.
Oh, no, you're pretty far off target so far.
Yeah, very rough.
I think your sarcasm means you're actually on target, because you knew that. Well,
no, I didn't know how it ended, but I was so confident.
I'm trying.
Yeah, Tito Ortiz. He hasn't played baseball for a long time, has he?
He never did.
What did he do?
Mixed martial arts.
Oh, I was thinking of someone totally different.
Well, to your credit, though, I don't think he has played baseball in a long time.
No, he hasn't played baseball in a very long time. This guy's got a head like an eggplant.
Not since high school, when they had it in gym class.
Look at this guy's head. Like, it tapers in somehow in the middle.
Who are we talking about? Tito Ortiz?
Tito Ortiz got like a bulb, and then a lower bulb, and then like a...
He has a gigantic head. Yeah, it's known that you can't buy hats for him and things like that. His head is huge. But I think a big head and also a really strong neck, which he has too, makes you hard to knock out, and it's been to his advantage.
Hasn't he had, like, vertebrae issues?
Yeah. He has had neck surgery a bunch of times, like upper spine, neck area stuff. He's got a couple fused. I don't even know what that does to a guy. What happens when people get their spine fused together and they're like, man, it's so much better now. And I'm like, really? I feel like I use my spine doing flexy things constantly. How can you just fuse it and be happier?
We've never checked, though. We don't know which segments are kind of bullshit. You know, like, maybe we really don't need to be bending that much. Right?
Good point.
I'd rather be as bendy as possible.
I mean, ideally. But if you're a professional fighter and you can just fuse them together, done with that. Seems like a pretty good move.
Yeah, what if you could make yourself more knockout proof by just, like, solidifying a whole bunch of like your head through your rib cage are all one solid unit that can't be moved independently.
You'd be like a rock'em sock'em robot.
Just pops off and things go poorly.
Might end the same way too. I'm looking forward to watching him fight Tito. Chuck Liddell. I want to see that fight. It's a real freak show, but I'm definitely going to tune in. I got to see that.
I'm not, and it's because I've seen a couple of these older guys fight again, and it's always really disappointing. They don't move the same. They don't look the same. It's sad. And I'm not a guy, like, I've always liked it when old athletes played the sport as long as they could play. I don't need them to retire on top. Retire when you're no longer competing at that level. You know, you don't have to be the best running back in the NFL. You just have to not be the worst. If you're not the worst running back in the NFL, seems to me like you're still an NFL quality player, right? That's been my thought process. But when I see these really old fighters get fights, I'm positive they're not UFC level fighters. Now, I know they're not in the UFC, but they're not professional levels fighters anymore. Maybe Tito.
My expectations are low. I will not be disappointed no matter what. I feel like I don't think it'll go the distance. Somebody's gonna get fucked up, and that's what I'm there for.
Liddell is 48 years old.
Oh yeah, still young.
And that is a 48 with a lot of miles, right?
More miles than Jenna Jameson could ever hope to accrue. They were fucking her pussy. They weren't slapping her in the head with lead pipes. Okay, like she's in much better shape as far as concussions.
Yeah, her pussy is the Chuck Liddell's head of pussies. It's taken a hammering. If pussies could talk, it would slur its words.
Chuck Liddell started fighting in 1998, so that's 20 years ago.
Yeah, but he hadn't fought in like 10 though, right? So
8, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
he's good. He's gonna get.
He's been saving it up.
Yeah.
Is he out of money? Is that what this is?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah. So he lost 5 of his last 6. It's not like he's not that guy who's like not the worst. No, they like he just lost fight after fight. Although I am looking, he lost to a murderer's row there. They were all good fighters. So Chuck Liddell, we've laid it out before. The UFC wanted him to retire. Dana White was like, look, man, you've lost 5 of your last 6. This is not okay. You get knocked out every time. This is brutal. You need to retire. We will pay you $300,000 a year to do nothing. And he said, all right, I accept your terms. I'll be a retired fighter for $300,000 a year. UFC got bought and sold, and he lost that do-nothing job, and now he needs to fight again.
Oh, okay. I think that sounds familiar. I think you've told me that before. That's got to suck. Like, even being... it's got to be so shitty to be so rich for so long and then like think that you're set for life with a nice legacy and then be like, oh, fuck. I'm almost half a century old, and I'm going to have to jump back in this ring. I know I'm going to get shithoused in there, and then if I'm pretty frugal with the rest of my life, then I'll remain very comfortable.
There's no way he was ever rich, and there's no way that this fight is going to make him comfortable for any long period of time.
How? He was like one of the big fighters. He was in that movie.
He's
like
too early. He's like one of the best baseball player of the 1960s.
Yeah, they're making money now, and that's a relatively new thing. You know, Habib right now is saying that he wants at least what Nate Diaz got for his fight to fight McGregor, which is like $2 million guaranteed plus pay-per-view numbers or something like that. And I feel like they're going to be pretty tough on that number. They're not going to want to give him that, but I guess they will. We'll see. They're sort of using Poirier as a way to negotiate their way around that, I suppose, with Dana White and the UFC. But the fight to see is definitely Habib versus Conor. I mean, I get the Poirier's
they're
right
both
there,
not almost 50.
Yeah. Well, Dana White said they're going to try and put Ferguson on that card. Apparently, he's training at full speed now, which is ridiculous, but it's on the internet, you know.
Yeah, he's running.
That's like the last thing you do. So, yeah, but he's crazy at training. He trains, this is Tony Ferguson, with like an enthusiasm and level that is outrageous. You know, when he stops training, he just starts like squeeze balls and shit like that. Like he's just nonstop always going.
You see Conor's dick on Instagram?
Maybe.
Conor posted his dick on Instagram.
He posted like this selfie. He's like, I just got out of like the Irish Sea or something like that, and he's got like a full hard on like in his underwear for some reason. And
he just loves Ireland.
I am very out of touch on the hard on picture. Way back in the day, you know, when the world was black and white and I was young, having a hard on was an embarrassing situation, right? Conor comes in with a semi at least every weigh-in. Every weigh-in. And at first I was like, he's got a pretty big cock. But I am no longer fooled by the hard-on at the weigh-in thing. He's got to be
weigh-ins with an erection?
Yeah.
What how? What?
He's got to be back there fluffing it or something because he's got a hard-on every weigh-in. And if you don't know, Conor wears very tight underwear. And it's just like, it's like he's got to lever the thing down, get that tight underwear over it, and then there it is, just like fighting to get out during the weigh-in. And the Instagram picture is just more of the same. Yeah. Let me see.
Might just be like really excited to be a part of the, part of the UFC.
This is very close to what he looks like in weigh-ins. By the way, if you can look past the cock.
This motherfucker has an erection. Dude, and why would you, that's really not an impressive erection. That's pretty small. Like, why would he post this?
It's a little thin, but he's got some length.
Where are you seeing length here? Where?
It's all the way to the side.
But look at where his torso is.
I'm guessing he's not at full mast here as well.
Huh. I mean, it's a fine cock, I think. But it's weird that he's taking this picture for sure. That I have to put this on Instagram. It's just odd to me. This is what he looks like at weigh-ins, which cracks me up even more because he's gonna go like nose to nose with some dude. He goes cock to cock with him.
Dude, that'd be intimidating. That'd be intimidating if he showed up with a full erection and he's like getting in your face. He'd be like, "Whoa, wait. Can we give him a minute?
I like to speak to UFC HR. My opponent have erection. Sexual harassment.
TMZ caught him.
Hashtag me too.
TMZ caught him coming out of his hotel either yesterday or the day before, going for a run. And one of the female reporter was like, is it true your penis is as big as a banana? When are we going to see some dick pics?
Who said that?
The reporter. The journalism at its finest over there. They followed him while he was running around New York City.
I saw that. That was a Wall Street Journal story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm
who in the
surfing
world?
The web. Oh my God, my Google history is fantastic. It now includes, did Conor McGregor have an erection at weigh-in? And sure enough, scroll down to the second picture. Dude, right?
Yeah.
He's happy to be there.
And here's a video of him weighing in. It looks like maybe before he made the UFC. He's got a hard-on in this. Are you watching the YouTube video?
I'm looking at some of these pictures, and
it's above the picture with the green shorts I'm watching. And yeah, this guy just shows up with hard-ons at the weigh-ins and stuff.
I think that takes some concentration to maintain, because I would feel like in a stressful situation like that, you would have the opposite effect.
I could see where you're coming from for sure. Yeah,
I'd feel like getting in the ring and fighting another man is not the kind of situation where like, oh yeah, oh no, I'm getting hard. Like you'd be going in there like, I'm gonna fucking brutalize this guy. And if you see the other guy with an erection, maybe it's like a psyop where they're like, whoa, is this guy gonna be hard when we're fighting? That's uncomfortable. Like, all right, there's another, jab to avoid.
Check your oil.
Yeah. How are you doing that? Both your hands are up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to have the. Well, I mean, you're wearing a cup in the fight and everything, but it's the media stuff. When the weigh-ins specifically, because that's when you're in your underwear, right? We don't know if he's got a hard on when he's got his slacks on, but he's there in his underwear, and he always seems to be more than flaccid.
Am I the crazy one here, right? I'm the idiot who thought you sent dick pics at half-mast, right? So you could plausibly pretend it wasn't a hard-on, but it was a little bigger than its, swimming pool state, right? I was wrong. Turns out you send,
You give good-to-go pics.
Exactly.
Here's what you're going to be working with, ma'am.
Right. So maybe at weigh-ins, we're the crazy people. We're you're showing up soft at a weigh-in? The fuck?
But nobody else is doing that. No other guys. There was Mayweather standing there looking for a boxer who has that much experience. His response to it was clearly oh yeah, another weigh-in boner. Another day, another dollar. It was what the fuck? Well, this guy's walking around with a boner up here.
Conor, man, he makes his own rules.
That's not a rule you should make. You should obey that rule.
I feel like aside from this podcast, not enough of the world is talking about Conor McGregor and the weigh-in hard-ons. It should be a Vegas betting line.
That's a pretty big story right now. This Instagram picture.
Okay.
Like I said, that's one of the. They asked him 4 questions while he was on his jog, and 2 of them were about his dick.
Well, I have been following the
McGregor
hard-on story for 4 or 5 years now, so I really feel ahead of the game on this.
Yeah, he came off really well when he was talking to the cameras. He said he was happy for Aldo. He saw Aldo win and everything. And I think they asked him where he was going to fight Khabib, and he said they asked him if it was going to be in New York, and he said most likely Vegas.
It always seems to be Vegas.
Well, he's fought a couple of big ones in New York, but it'll be Vegas because he's almost certainly banned from Madison Square Garden.
How did I forget that? But yeah, that makes sense. But has McGregor fought in New York outside of the Mayweather fight?
Yes. I know he has. Or I think he has. Oh, that was Boston when we watched him. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think he has, but I'm not sure. I couldn't name the event.
He fought Eddie Alvarez in New York.
Okay.
And then his previous 4 were in Vegas and then Boston. That's enough of that topic.
Yeah, Boston would seem like a great place for him to go with all the Irish there. And New York's got a big Irish population as well.
Also,
and of course, Ireland.
He likes it because it's an easier travel for the people from Ireland. Did you just say that?
Of course.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah.
I didn't say it, but it's absolutely true. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be on the lookout for the next weigh-in erection pics then, now that I know this is a trend.
UFC fighters have been getting paid more, but they've been selling less, right? So, like, DC versus Stipe, that card was a big card, and it didn't do well. Did it get 300,000 buys?
I don't know.
It's something like, I think it was in the 300s, and that's not good by UFC standards, and it might be the best one this year. I mean, McGregor will break 1 million, or traditionally he has. I don't know, like, McGregor might come back and sell 500,000 because that's just the climate it's been lately.
I think McGregor will be real big. I think I said that McGregor was the biggest sports star in the world, but I was definitely wrong about that. I did some research, and he's like the 18th or something like that when you factor in social media, endorsements, and like search algorithm stuff and something like that. He's like the 18th biggest athlete in the world behind, I don't know, people like Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods are bigger. Some Chinese swimmer was bigger, I guess. And, of course, like the big 2 or 3 soccer players like Messi and Ronaldo and some other guy were all bigger. I think I want to say Ronaldo or Messi were – one of the other was number 1 and the other was like number 3 or something like that. LeBron was really high up there.
I wonder
Serena Williams.
If McGregor was higher like a year or 2 ago during like the Alvarez-Mayweather period.
I mean, probably. There's no way he could have.
I doubt it
since then, right?
I feel like this is like an aggregate of like several years because Mickelson's on there, and like how often is Mickelson like in the news, blowing up, right? You know, Mickelson threw a caddy through a window this week, and his charges coming up against him. Like I feel like he's only grown as far as like sponsor deals and stuff like that. I love watching his commercials because they're just silly. He's got this potato chip commercial that's dumb, and you know, but I think 18th in the world was from maybe it was Business Insider that I was looking at, something like that.
The actual ranking
source
doesn't matter at all, because what I enjoy about it is that you guys have at least 3 times now said that Conor McGregor is the biggest athlete on earth, and every time that is the comment responded to most by commenters, where it's like, you stupid Americans don't even know about Ronaldo or Messi, and you're so, up your own ass with your sports, and I don't know what it is about people from across the pond in any direction.
It's like he went after their religion.
He's not even American.
Yeah, he's not even American. Like we are, and which is why they blame us for assuming our sports are the biggest. Which, I mean, if we want to do a per capita thing, folks, they are.
That's why the Chinese swimmer is so big.
Yeah, yeah. Genie,
wow,
whatever the fuck. He is like. There's a ping pong player in China that is more known by number of people than LeBron James. Just by the numbers. Like, that's a bad example because China likes basketball. So, shit.
Who's the Borat guy? Sacha Baron Cohen. Sacha Baron Cohen. Did you see him talk to Roy Moore?
I did.
Bit of a letdown, right?
That was hilarious.
Really?
That was amazing.
Was it? Compare it to the guy who was bum rushing people with his ass out.
You're never going to get that again. Don't let that be your high point. That's not.
He should not have released it that early.
That is an aberration.
This should have been the season finale.
No. That is an aberration. You put an asterisk next to. You'll never see that again. That is a perfect storm of insanity.
No, because getting the NRA guy to support kindergartens with the stuffed animals on the rifles and pistols, I thought was about equal to getting that idiot to bun rush people.
Oh, no.
When you get a politician to start screaming, nagger, 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 and then he pulls his ass out, like no, nothing will ever top that. Like he did everything except for like use a black man as like a bayonet target or something like that. Like I don't know how you could top.
I agree. That is the high watermark so far, I think. But I would argue that the NRA guy isn't too far behind. And Roy Moore saying, I'm not a pedophile, that for people who don't know, He dressed up as the same Israeli like security agent type dude, and he said, "Yeah, in Israel we have a lot of really high tech technology. One of them is we are able to use seismic waves and shake the ground and find tunnels that go underneath our wall." And Roy Moore was like, "Yeah, that sounds great. We should have that too. We can find terrorists and drug smugglers and etc." There's another thing, and he breaks out this looks like a metal detector, the hand waving ones.
Yeah,
and he's like, pedophiles actually give out a different scent. And he waves it over himself, and it doesn't buzz. And he waves it over Roy Moore, and it starts buzzing. And he's like, this thing clearly is defective. Don't worry about it. And he waves it over like the sound guy, like he brings him into the frame. It doesn't buzz. And then he puts it over Roy Moore again, and it starts buzzing. But Roy Moore kind of kept his cool and said, like, if you're trying to say that thing picks up pedophiles and it's defective, and Sacha Cohen is like, yeah, it must not be working.
Yeah, it's definitely defective because you've never been accused of anything like that. No, I've been married 30 years, never been accused of anything like that. And then, like, you could just, I don't remember if they did it or not, but in my mind, I'm picturing them overlaying all of the accusations against him.
They did.
Like the dozens of accusations that have been against him, the like dozen women who have come forward, the reports of him getting banned from malls for like, going after teenagers, that he was 32 going after like a 14-year-old, I think, or something like that. Like, he's had his share of accusations.
But to me, the magic is when you get someone who is respected to do something that you can't respect. It's not to be disrespectful to someone. And that's all he was able to pull off.
It's not as good because, like, these shows are funny, but like any kind of like verbal faux pas and shit, for the most part, like it's kind of like the way Colbert or Stewart used to do interviews. Like they're very selectively tricky, edited to be as funny as possible and like misread it. There is no kind of selective editing. They did not have some guy put on an Andy Serkis costume and then pretend to back his ass up into someone else. No amount of tricky, like, selective editing is going to get that. That guy genuinely took his pants off and backed up to try
America.
For America, and
turned into a homosexual.
That's why, like, that cannot be topped. That's the most ridiculous thing on any one of those kind of shows I've ever seen.
So he's got multiple characters that he's doing now to like fool people. One of them is this bald guy with kind of a ponytail in the back, and he's got a pot belly. And he goes to this small town in Arizona and starts selling. He's like, how would you like an investment of $387 million right here in whatever, no name Arizona? And they're like, yeah. Do you want jobs? Do you want prosperity? Yeah. Do you want the largest mosque outside of the Middle East right here? And they're like, what mosque? Wait, what? He's like, we have two possible mosques that we're going to build. Let me show you Exhibit 1, and it's literally the biggest, gigantic. It looks
Is it like comically large?
Comically large, and it's like overshadowing the entire city that they live. Taj Mahal times 100 behind their city. He's like, this is figure A. This is figure A. This is one concept. And here's figure 2, and it's even bigger. And they're like, no, we hate that. She's like, okay, so figure 2 then. He's like, don't worry, it's gonna have like high walls around it to keep anyone from getting in it, doing any hate against them or anything, and keep them safe in there. And also, and let me show you where the funding is coming from. And like, I can't remember where the first part of the funding was coming from. Oh, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is funding 28%. The Clinton Foundation is funding, and they're like, I knew it. They're out. The one guy's like, we have blacks here. We tolerate them. We're not going to tolerate this. Let me show you your town now and your town after the mosque. And when he clicks the next button, there's Arabs all over the town, and there's a camel in the street.
That's hilarious. I want to see the pictures of just a huge, tacky, garish mosque ruining the horizon.
I look forward to it. I want to see what he does. But I didn't think that the one with Roy Moore was very good because he didn't get Roy Moore, right? He was being
insulted.
He insulted him, yeah. But I like it when they the thing is like, who is America? Is that what it's called? Something close to that.
What is America? Who is America? One of those.
Who is America? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I keep getting it confused myself.
So, and I like it when they expose these people to be not as good as you thought they were.
Let's watch. I time-stamped it.
Okay.
I am ready.
Setting everything up. Ready, set, play.
And this is Design 2. So who here supports Design 1?
Nobody.
Okay, so you're all for Design 2.
Neither. We don't want either one.
Okay, so let me ask you, sir. You don't like this construction. Tell me about your dream mask.
There is no dream mask. We don't want a mask. Mask. As soon as you said mask, you ruined it.
Where is the money coming from? It's
Look at this rat tail.
It's primarily going to be paid for by the Saudi government.
Of course.
The Clinton Foundation is...
Hey, that's a big fucking mistake right there. You should have never brought that up.
A lot of jorts in that room.
Yeah.
Listen, can everybody be calm? This is not a big deal. This is just a building.
It's a huge deal.
It's a building.
And it's not a building, it's a fucking terrorist mosque.
Okay, let me address terrorism. Rest assured, I share your concerns, and we will do everything we can to protect these Muslims from it. The mosque will have fortified walls.
Everyone is just befuddled.
Keep the Muslims safe inside.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why would we want them safe inside when we don't even want them in our town?
Well, it would be to protect the worshippers from any violent
It's not
racists.
us that's causing the violence, it's them.
Oh, no. I didn't imply anybody here is racist. Of course not.
I am.
I am.
Let me continue.
That would probably look good in a fire.
Out of stone, so it won't be able to burn. So that's one of the anti-terrorist measures. I really believe by the end of this presentation, you guys are going to be completely convinced.
You're wrong. I doubt it.
Let me show you how your town will change.
He's a camel. That's my favorite part, though, when he's like, tell me about your dream mosque.
Your dream mosque.
It's on fire. Yeah, I was so happy that was Arizona and not Georgia or South Carolina or anywhere near us, right?
Yeah.
Like I said that to Chiz, and he's like, "Oh, he already took you down. He already took you down. You were the first guy." I was like, "Yeah, that's right. Fuck."
You were the first guy?
Georgia was the guy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, but the first guy was actually you guys didn't see the NRA one. I think if you saw it, you'd say that it was almost as good as the Georgia one.
I'll have to watch that one then.
Yeah, he's just. They're giving guns to children with stuffed animals on them, and point the bunny's nose at the bad guy. And
the bunny. The Kindergardians is a hilarious play on words.
Oh,
I love
great.
that.
Yeah, they did great.
Kindergardians.
I guess I saw Schwarzenegger working out. He sent I guess he got a lot of birthday wishes, and then he sent a little video thanking the Redditors who sent him the birthday wishes, and he was like pulling the pull down machine. He looks good.
Does he?
Yeah, he looks great for he's like 74. No, he's like Trump's age, isn't he?
He's 72, 77, somewhere in there. Like he's definitely old. But,
he's 71, and so he's in the same ballpark of age as like that entire last round of candidates, like Bernie and Hillary and Trump, and
Biden.
Look at the way Biden. Look at how I guess he's like 6 years younger than Biden, or not Biden. Yeah, Biden and Sanders. Still, it's close enough. Like
6 years.
This is like a testament to how much fitness is going to pay off later in life if you play for keeps. Like he's still lifting hard. He's got muscle definition. If you put that entire RNC and DNC stage of over 60s versus Arnold in a YouTube boxing match, he's going to win. Like he still looks great. I love his Twitter account, Arnold Schwarzenegger, for the most part. Like he mostly posts just like motivational little things of him, and he is very, very good at that. He's just a motivational kind of guy.
Yeah, like it seems like a really nice guy.
Easy to admire all the things he's accomplished.
That's the video we're referencing. They're making a new Terminator. From what I understand, James Cameron, the original director, has the rights back, and he's gotten Linda Hamilton to come back and Schwarzenegger to come back. So I've got high hopes for this one. The last couple were just absolute dog shit. But I know that you've never seen any of them, Taylor, but I highly recommend Terminator 1, Terminator 2. They really are just must-watch, amazing movies. If you got to pick one, it's Terminator 2.
I won't understand it unless I see the first.
You'll understand.
I'll pick it up.
Yeah. It's
I think
quickly
you'll
evident.
follow all the complexities of Terminator. You'll be
Well,
fine.
I mean, there's
Is there a lot of nuance?
there's a little nuance because there's some time travel and going on, right? So the Arnold's he's been sent back to be the guardian of a child who will one day be the savior of mankind, sort of lead the resistance against the army of machines that is to come. And so there's a little bit of nuance to it. It's not just like it's not the Running Man.
Yeah. So
right?
in the first one, you've got Connor, and he is going to lead the resistance against the machines. So Arnold Schwarzenegger comes back, a machine, to nip him in the bud while he's still a child. And
to kill his mother before he's born.
Okay. So in the second one, I guess Arnold is now an older model, not the good stuff anymore. And the resistance has managed to take older models like that and use them to help keep Connor alive. Is this on target, Kyle?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So, and the second one it's better. It's better, but they're both good.
Yeah, and the first one he has a human protector who's sent back to protect him. His name is Kyle Reese, and so he's sent back and he grabs Linda Hamilton and he protects her from Schwarzenegger, who's the bad guy in the first one. And although it was given away by the previews way back in '92 when they made the second movie, it really should have been a surprise to audiences that, oh shit, Schwarzenegger's the good guy now, because now he's the protector and what I can't think of the guy's Robert Picardo. No, that's not his name. Anyway, there's another Terminator who's like the evil Terminator who's like liquid metal, so he can make his any part of his body into knives and stabbing weapons, or he can just be a pool of liquid or something.
Can pass through jail cell bars and things like that. Yeah, because he can go.
And he's very difficult to kill, of course, because you shoot him full of holes and he just blobs back together.
Yeah, like they literally take a shotgun right up to his face and they destroy it, so it looks like, I don't know, like ballistics gel or something, and then it just morphs back into his face, and it was cutting edge tech. CGI at the time.
Yeah, if you watch it today and it's not off putting, it's not like, whoa, what is this? It's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's a liquid metal person. I gotcha.
Yeah,
it still looks good, and that was '92. The second one is very, very good. The first one's it's a bit like Alien and Aliens in that the first one is almost scary and almost a horror movie, and that you've got this like unstoppable machine who keeps coming after this, just a man, and the man doesn't have his futuristic weapons. He's like got a shotgun and stuff. He's trying to make pipe bombs in his motel room to like kill Arnold Schwarzenegger. Whereas in the second one, like the good guy is fucking Schwarzenegger, so like he gets shot all up and he's just like, yeah, pull the bullets out, they'll heal. And it's one of the few movies where the child actor is not annoying. I can't think of the child actor's name, but he's excellent. He's excellent.
Yeah, nothing ruins a movie.
Bit. Like, you ever hear people say, I like all kinds of music, right? Like, I like all kinds of music except two kinds. One, I don't think there's a jazz song in the world that I enjoy. And two, children's choirs. Like, I if I hear that shit, I instantly want to stop listening to children's choir.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't like children's choirs either. It's just annoying. It's just obnoxious. Yeah. I don't like children. Laura Ingalls Wilder rules should still be applied. Children should be seen, not heard. And giving them their own choir, making them think they're like people already. Nah, that's too much leniency.
You started losing me when you said they weren't people. Because they're kind of people, but all right.
They're like little shitty people. They're still growing, but I already stopped doing that keto diet because I did it for like 10 days, and they were saying like, oh yeah, it'll take you a little bit. Like some people feel terrible and have no energy, for a little while after it, and like for the first 4-5 days, I'm like, this is pretty easy. This is pretty nice. Like I'm not that hungry. I feel okay. Like everything seems to be going well. And then like just like a train, like a 3 or 4 day period after that, like I felt like I felt sick, except I didn't have like nausea or like the things associated with sickness. I just, if either of you have had mono, you'll know what I mean, where you're just like drained. Like every little movement is like, how is this so tiring? Like, how am I so exhausted? Like I'd get like, 20 minutes into a workout and be like, it feels like my body feels like I've been doing this for 2.5 hours. Like I wasn't able to finish like workouts for like that whole week because it wasn't even like, I'll take longer breaks in between. It's like, no, your muscle's just gassed. There's no glycogen in the muscle for fuel.
And then somehow you have Richard Ryan just taking bites of fist-sized chunks of cheese, happy as can be. Like, yeah, I'm doing keto, lost 20 pounds, gobbling on giant packs of cheese.
See, like, if I had not been trying to work out, I think it would have been pretty easy. Like, I could have forged ahead, but, like, after, like, the third or fourth basically failed or non-productive workout, I was like, what the fuck is the point of this if I'm just going to do this and then just feel like I just ran a marathon? Or, like, I kept... Like, I had my girl over, and we were working out together, and I, like, in the middle of it, I just laid on the ground, and you know that scene in Lord of the Rings where, like, Sam is so exhausted that, like, he can't move on, or, like, Frodo, rather, is, like, on Mount Doom, and he has no energy. He can't move. Like, he's been drained. He went from the Shire to the Black Gate and further. That's what I felt like. Like, I needed my Sam to come over and help me up. Like it was a level of tired and an unexplainable kind of tired that was just so unpleasant. And so I'm like, fuck this. I'm just going back to eating carbs. And within a day and a half of like that first bowl of brown rice or whatever I ate, felt 100% again and been able to work out just fine. And so I think if I was just trying to cut weight and was not being physically active, this would be really easy, but that's not the goal at the time. So it's just not working for me now, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, brown rice seems like such a healthy carb anyway. It's not like you're eating like white bread and pasta.
Yeah.
You're eating brown rice.
And I love brown rice. Like I eat rice with most every meal. I think that's probably why it was so tough for me. It's because like I always have ate a ton of rice. Like especially since I started working out very regularly. It just always keeps you fueled up and have energy. But like the first few days of that diet, you get like such a diluted sense of how much weight you've lost because you're just pissing every 20 minutes because there's no longer carbohydrates in your body, retaining water. Like within the first 3-4 days, like I swear I pissed out like 4 pounds like of net weight. And I was like, man, this is pretty great. And then within 1 day of eating carbs again, the body was like, oh, great, we can have water and hold it again, the way we're supposed to. And all of that just whoop.
Did you notice a difference? Like, were you getting muscle definition because of the water retention loss?
No, it wasn't enough to be worthwhile, especially, like, and I was drinking well over a gallon a day, like just trying to not feel shitty. But yeah, it sucked. Like, you have no energy to work out. Like your muscles, like you just feel quivery and weak.
I've been with Lozon for a weight cut or two, and I saw him, and it was like, oh my god, like he looks really strong. He looks great right now. Like weigh-in UFC fighter is an impressive sight, and it was like you should look like that all the time. Meanwhile, he can barely move. He's exhausted. He feels worse than you did in your workout.
Oh yeah,
and it's just, but it looked good.
He looks great, I bet.
Yeah. It did perform well, but it looked good. Call it a wrap? Oh.
Yeah, sure. Oh, no, I wasn't going to talk about anything important.
That's how we do our show here. All right. PKN, episode 206.